Yeah, this is Bang Bang Rail. Now and again, I go back on my comments on people that write their comments to me, yeah? And I go back, and I remember this years ago, man. It's like, when you read the comments, it's like yesterday, you know what I mean? But years and years ago, when I haven't been out of prison very long, Mickey Gooch got me a flat in a place called Sutherland's Avenue in Paddington. I was going out weekends with them to clubs, bootleggers, Pal Joey's, all the big clubs, yeah. And this particular time, I didn't feel too well. I thought I'd come back, you know. So they dropped me off at Edgware Road about 3 o'clock in the morning, and walking down the road, I walked into a shop to get some stuff, like bacon and stuff for my flat. It wasn't far down the road. I could walk. It was about, 20 minutes down the road where I lived, so it was a nice walk, you know what I mean? So whilst I'm walking around the clock, I noticed this girl there. She's really, really attractive, you know. She had a cobweb on top of her head there and a few tattoos on her face and her hands and everything, yeah. I haven't been out of prison very long. So she said to me, I was talking to her for a little bit of time, and she looked over and she said, have you got any fags, mate? Like that. I said, what do you mean? Well, she said, I've got no fags. I said, you want some? I bought some fags, yeah? And then she said to me, what are you doing? Do you want to do a bit of business? Then I realised she's a prostitute, yeah? So I said, okay, yeah. So we walked back to my place, and she stayed the night, but I had a flat, a nice flat, Banham locks on the door, 144, I can never remember that, Sutherland's Avenue, and it was a bed sit, but the bed was up in the ceiling, a big sort of like ladders that go up to the ceiling, but it was beautiful. I mean, it's unbelievable, this place. Big front room, lovely kitchen, built-in bathroom, really, really plush, yeah. I had everything you needed in there. I had a nice television, I had the DVD, that was, what is it, not the DVDs, it was the videos in, the JVC big video thing, yeah. And yeah, it was nice. I had my own watch, a ring, bracelet, a necklace and all them sort of things, you know what I mean? And a bit of money. Anyway, she stayed the night. It was a good night, yeah? And in the morning, she was like, got out of things, she went down the ladder. I could hear her being really, really sick. I didn't know what it was, so I went down and I said, what's up? She said, I'm sick, you know. I said, why? You know, she said, well, I take brown, yeah? I went, God, it knocked my pipe out. It knocked my pipe out that she was smoking the brown, you know what I mean? I couldn't believe it, yeah? But she was nice, yeah, really pretty and everything. I thought, oh my God, I don't need that, you know what I mean? And anyway, so she said, look, I need something to stop me being sick. So I happened to know where there was a place over by Victoria Sporting Club, yeah? So I went over there and I met a pal of mine and I got some stuff, but I had to wait about, half an hour, 3/4 an hour for it, yeah? Maybe not so much as that, but I had to wait for it. So I went back, went through the Banham door, I locked all the doors, went through the doors, and my flat was cleared out. No television, no DVD, no video, nothing. All my jewellery had gone, my money had gone. I only left a little bit there, but my jewellery, ring, and bracelet, and all the necklaces, all gone. And she'd gone through my front window. So now I'm really pissed off, you know. So that she nicked all my stuff. But I'm thinking to myself, you know, she must have some sort of pimp or something, you know what I mean, to get after the stuff that I've got, televisions on and all that. She needs a car, yeah. So I'm so wound up, mate. So I'm going down to where the guy that I know I can get the gear from to find out if he knows this girl. He said, yeah, I know, yeah. Anyway, I went to see her and she shit herself, you know what I mean? She absolutely pooed herself, yeah. And she told me where the guy lived, the guy that took all my stuff and bits and pieces. He got well obliged. I mean, come on, you don't do that, mate. It's a bit out of bounds, you know what I mean? He got well obliged. You want me out to do that again? Never. So he got really, really hurt. I was upset with her. I pushed her aside, but she was really pretty and attractive. I can't make out why she got on the stuff, you know? And it's a bit of an hard thing to say, but I also give her some money. I give her money after I got my stuff back and all that, and the money, bits and pieces from that geezer. I didn't get my stuff back, but I got a bit of money from her. I took some stuff from her, give her the stuff and give her the money. I know it's not a good thing to give her anything, but she needs it, yeah, so I give it to her. And that was it. I've never ever seen her again. Because I live in just down the road from the edge of the road itself. I've never seen her again, but perhaps because I don't go down there much. Perhaps I always get cabs or someone picks me up. We go to clubs and all this, that and the other. I've never seen her again. So I done this thing on my podcast on a video about the same incident I just told you. And then I got some girl, didn't give me her name, just a picture of her face with a tattoo on top of this and a few tattoos around her face, this, that and the other. And she said, it's me, Ray. It's me, the girl that come to you that night and I robbed your house and this, that and the other. I couldn't believe it, it was a comment. This is like 20 years, maybe even more than that, maybe even longer than that, you know what I mean? And I couldn't, maybe 27, 28 years. And you're thinking, wow, man, she remembers me, like just by the story I told. And when I was talking to her, she sounded a bit rough, like I was texting her, this, that and the other. And then silly thing to do really, but I did. I give her my phone number, thinking that'd be it. Thinking I shouldn't have really done it, but I'd done it, which I thought was crazy. But about 2 days later, I got a phone call. And it's her. She sounded, well, all right. It's a funny sort of like the way they talk, innit? The way they talk on that shit, yeah? So, I'm just saying, how are you? And all this, that and the other. And what's going on? She said, well, I'm sorry for how I was towards you. You're so nice towards me, you know what I mean? You're such a nice guy. And I'd like to repay you back, but I can't. I'm in hospital. And she was in St Mary's Hospital, yeah? Paddington. I went, Christ, what's up? She said, well, I've been injecting in my legs and my feet for ages, yeah. But one leg worse than the other one, and then they want to amputate it, yeah. Wow, man, and her voice changed, you know what I mean? She said, they've got to amputate it. They've got to take her leg off, man. And I thought, wow, man, I'm so sorry. What can you... And I'm here in this place here, yeah, and this Paddington, it's miles away really, and it's not miles, I can get a train there, but it takes 2 or 3 hours from where I am, yeah, and I'm going, I can't believe it, she's such a shame. And then she showed me a photograph of what she looks like now, and it was like, like, it's a memory, innit? It's a memory of something that you met years ago and what you think they're like now, and completely different. And I thought, wow, man, she's just gone. And there's a few people in my comments must have liked her because they were sending her messages and all that, and she was telling me that I don't want to get involved with any guy, you know what I mean? She said, all I want to do is have my leg off. What a thing to say, to have your leg off, And when I hear that about drugs, about heroin, brown, about crack cocaine, it makes me feel, wow, man, how did I ever get involved with that stuff? Never took brown, never touched brown in my life, yeah, but seen people that have. And to see someone like I was with years ago, Herion, she was in a big pop group called Entice, and just to think that she's involved big time on crack cocaine, yeah, and it's just a shame that people can pull them into that, yeah. People like Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown, that pulled her right into it big time, yeah. It seems a shame that goes around, what goes around comes around, sort of thing, innit? You know what I mean? And I was gutted, I was gutted that she come back 10 times worse than what she went. And I'm gutted that there's people out there. You see them, you see these girls, even on YouTube, you see them talking to people, and the way they talk, you think, wow, and their faces are gone, isn't it? You got this, and the faces are just ice, and it's ice now, and something. This is number one. The faces have gone. They've lost everything. They've lost all the features. Everything's gone. on drugs. It's just completely ruined them. They've got no money. They've got to sell themselves. They wind up in prison and they get worse when they're in there, and they come out worse than what they went in. And it's just a sort of like roller coaster that goes on and on and on, yeah? And mate, and I don't know what to do, you know what I mean? And I'm got this book going, I suppose, I might even try and get into some of that, you know what I mean? I know quite a few people that have been in the Priory, people that I knew when I lived around Kingston and Richmond area. I know quite a lot of people who got involved in drugs and went to the Priory, but you can't, it's impossible to go into these rehab places like the Priory, them places that cost you absolutely fortunes, and it's no good, because as soon as you come out of there, it's the triggers that's going to spark it all off. The triggers are going to spark it all off, and the biggest trigger that we know about is the money. Once you get money in your hand and you've been on drugs, it's very, very hard to pull away from it. And, then you got the house triggers, and you got the people triggers, the people that sell it, and the house where it comes from. They're all the big triggers, And these people that have got these big drugs units like the Priory, it don't work. It don't work. And the only way, even what I'm going to say now, it doesn't work no more. Yeah, prison. I got off with crack cocaine through prison, through doing a big sentence, yeah, and wanted to get off it. Mindset in my mind, I wanted to get off drugs myself. If you don't want to get off it, you never will. But there's people now in prison that are doing Big Bird, that have got to take heroin to survive their bird, mate. They can't do it without drugs. They can't do it without brown. And they come out absolutely in a terrible state. They go in prison for 5 years, and they come out and go straight back to what they was doing on the thing. And it don't make no sense to me that you can go in prison. There's people watching me now that are in prison, you know what I mean? It's terrible, man, that you can go in prison and come out worse than what you went in. And this is supposed to be a place where they rehabilitate you, and yet you come out worse than what you went in. It's like, what is going on, you know what I mean? Why can't it be sorted properly? This is what I'm saying about prison in my days was completely different to what prison is today, because they let it go. Drugs is part of prison now. Without drugs, prisons will explode, blow up, And there's certain people in there that just earn a fortune out of it. So it's never going to change. You've got prison officers that are bringing it in, you've got welfare, all sorts of people that are bringing it into prisons, So it's never going to stop. It just guts me that that someone like that girl that I met with a cobweb off her head, and she's been in and out of prison all through her life, only 6 months here, a year there. And she's telling me on the phone, right, that I get more in prison than I do out in the street. The only thing about in prison, I'm giving more that I do on the street. It costs me more money, so therefore I don't know what's the word, forget the word they use here. I've got to work that little bit harder to get more money to pay for it, yeah? And it's a shame. And I think something should be done about it. But I just think it's, that girl with the cobweb, I thought, I could just open my eyes, and I thought, it's a shame. It's a terrible shame, but this is life, this is how it goes. Anyway, this is Bang Bang Rahul. Please press the like button and subscribe, and thanks for everything you've done for me. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.